Imagine an island so vast it could swallow Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia combined, yet so cold that only 57,000 people dare to call it home. To most of the world, it is a silent, frozen wasteland, but to the most powerful nations on Earth, it is a gold mine, a shield, and a potential spark for a third world war. Why was the President of the United States willing to risk a global diplomatic crisis to buy a giant block of ice? The answer is hidden beneath 2 kilometers of solid frost, and it involves a secret battle for the future of our planet. Let's dive into the icy mystery of Greenland.
Hello and welcome. If you're new here, welcome to Amazing 5.
Our story begins in the far north, at the top of the world. Greenland is a land of extremes. 80% of its surface is buried under a massive ice sheet. In the winter, the temperature plunges to minus 30 degrees Celsius. In the northern reaches, minus 50 is just another Tuesday. For centuries, this island lived in quiet isolation as an autonomous region under the Kingdom of Denmark. But recently, that silence was shattered by a single, shocking demand from Washington, D.C. When Donald Trump publicly suggested that the United States should buy Greenland, the world laughed. The Danish Prime Minister called the idea absurd. But for those who understand the high-stakes game of geopolitics, it wasn't a joke at all. It was the latest move in an obsession that the United States has harbored for over 150 years. To understand why, we have to look at the map, not the flat map on your wall, but the globe from the top. Greenland sits directly between the two most heavily armed regions on Earth, North America and Russia. During the Cold War, the US realized that if the Soviet Union ever launched a nuclear missile, it wouldn't fly over the Atlantic or Pacific, it would fly over the North Pole. Greenland is the world's ultimate watchtower. Tucked away in its icy interior is the Pituffik Space Base. This base houses some of the most advanced radar systems in existence, designed to detect an incoming intercontinental ballistic missile the moment it leaves the ground. Without Greenland, the US mainland would be blind to a strike from the north. This is why, in 1946, President Harry Truman offered Denmark $100 million in solid gold to hand over the island. Denmark said no, but the US never stopped looking at those snowy peaks with hungry eyes. But the 21st century brought a new reason for this obsession, a treasure hunt. As we look closer at the island, we see a cinematic transformation. Underneath that ancient ice, which has stayed frozen for millions of years, lies a fortune. Geological surveys suggest that Greenland holds the 8th largest reserve of rare earth elements in the world. We are talking about minerals like neodymium, which makes the magnets for electric cars and wind turbines, gallium, the heart of AI chips and radar, and uranium, the fuel for nuclear energy. Currently, China controls nearly 90% of the world's supply of these minerals. They have used this monopoly as a stranglehold on Western technology. For the US, Greenland isn't just an island. It is the key to breaking China's power. It is the oxygen of the future tech industry. However, there is a third reason, one that is rarely spoken about in public, the toll plaza of the Arctic. For centuries, the Northwest Passage, a sea route connecting Europe and Asia through the Arctic, was a sailor's nightmare, blocked by ice as hard as steel. But now, because of global warming, that ice is melting. In the next decade, cargo ships may no longer need to crawl through the Suez or Panama canals. By sailing through the Arctic, a ship from China to London could save 9,000 kilometers and 15 days of travel. Greenland sits right at the entrance of this new global highway. Whoever controls the island becomes the gatekeeper of the world's newest and most important trade route. If Russia or China gets a foothold here, they could tax the world's trade or block it entirely. The tension is reaching a breaking point. The local Greenlandic people are caught in the middle. Many want independence from Denmark, but they fear that trading a Danish protector for an American owner might mean losing their 1,000-year-old culture and identity. Meanwhile, the diplomatic stakes couldn't be higher. Denmark is a member of NATO. Their Prime Minister warned that if the US tries to seize Greenland by force or pressure, it would destroy the alliance that has kept the peace since World War II. As the ice continues to melt and the world grows hungrier for minerals and power, the silent sentinel of the North is no longer ignored. Greenland is no longer just a place of polar bears and glaciers. It is the chessboard where the next century will be decided. Will it remain a peaceful island of Inuit traditions, or will it become the front line of a new global conflict? Only time and the shifting ice will tell.